Green meant earthly life and growth. And red meant something they tried very hard to make you forget. Travel back before Christianity, before Rome, to the mystery schools of Egypt, Greece, and Phoenicia. In these temples, red wasn't just a color. It was the color of initiation, of gnosis, of the hidden knowledge that transformed an ordinary person into one who had seen beyond the veil. The Egyptian goddess Isis wore red. So did Inanna of Samaria, the goddess who descended into the underworld and returned transformed. Aphrodite, born from sea foam, was wrapped in crimson by ancient artists. These weren't random choices. Red represented the life force itself, menstrual blood, the blood of childbirth, the sacred fluid that literally created human life. You see where this goes, don't you? The ancient world understood something we've been taught to fear, that creation, transformation, and spiritual power flowed through the feminine as much as the masculine. Blood wasn't shameful, it was divine. The ability to create life wasn't weakness, it was the ultimate strength. And the women who understood these mysteries? They were priestesses, oracles, keepers of wisdom. When early Christianity emerged, it emerged from this world. The Gnostic Christians, the ones who wrote gospels that didn't make it into your Bible, saw Mary Magdalene as a spiritual teacher in her own right. In the Gospel of Philip, not canonized by the church, she's described as Jesus' companion, the one he loved more than the other disciples. They questioned why he kissed her often and taught her mysteries he didn't share with everyone. The artists knew this history. Even centuries later, they knew. So they painted her in red. They couldn't write the truth in words without being called heretics and burned. But they could encode it. They could dress Mary Magdalene in the color that screamed to anyone with eyes to see. This woman carried sacred knowledge. This woman was initiated. This woman was dangerous to anyone who wanted to control the narrative of divinity. Think about the paintings you've seen. She's often alone, contemplating, holding a skull or a book. She's not serving. She's not supporting. She's thinking. She's knowing. And she's wrapped in that crimson declaration that she belongs to an older, deeper tradition than the one the medieval church wanted you to worship. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. In 591 CE, Pope Gregory I stood before his congregation and delivered a sermon that would reshape history. He declared that Mary Magdalene, Mary of Bethany, and the unnamed sinful woman who anointed Jesus' feet were all the same person. One stroke of narrative genius, and the apostle became the prostitute. The teacher became the repentant sinner. The first witness to resurrection became the woman who needed saving. Why would he do this? Because a powerful woman threatens a power structure built on male authority. If Mary Magdalene was an apostle, a teacher, a trusted spiritual leader, then women could hold those roles. If she was a reformed prostitute, then women were symbols of sin who needed male religious authority to redeem them. You need to understand, this wasn't accidental. This was strategic. The Gnostic Gospels that portrayed Mary as spiritually equal or even superior to the male disciples declared heresy, burned, hidden. The Gospel of Mary, where Peter and the other disciples turned to her for teachings Jesus gave her prior.